My name is Tao Pan. This is my handover presentation for Digital Bank, Assessment 3 for SIT 708. The introductions. The Digital Bank mobile app is concept that being presented to fill a market need for small business, so traders and startup in needs of helping maintaining their financial records. It will offer multiple ways to enter data, including OCR scanning of receipts and invoices. These documents can be scanned into pre-filled data and then added later for accuracies. User can also manually enter data and choose to take a photo of their receipt or invoice for evidence. The process. During the assessment 1, I have almost no knowledge about the coding concept or any coding experiences in Kotlin. So I have created the milestone of project purely based on my life experiences. Now, looking back of my project plan, they declared the proposal was not well written in order to make this application live. So I decided to replan it while progressing through the semester. I spent 1 week trying to implement Camera X into the apps and build OCR functionality that translate the image into text. But I have discovered all the tutorial I could find online either expired because of the update of the Camera X from Google has just been newly updated this year, or most of the tutorial are in Java, not in Kotlin, which is increased difficulty for me to translate the code into what I want. And also for the tutorial in Java, they're also experiencing the library has expired and such problem like disappreciated, lots of function has to be abandoned. So I realized it is very hard to complete these camera and OCR functionality in this semester, and with the current knowledge I have changed my focus on building manual input function to store the invoice manually and a function that reads the stored information. In this part, I will go through with the application and also showing what I do believe is the key feature of this app. Upon running the digital app, and then the first of all, it will showing a splash screen. And then the splash screen will have a 2.5 seconds progress bar, which is on the bottom. So after it's fully loaded, it will bring us to the sign-in page. At the sign-in page, you can log in the email and password, and all those features will go through with the Firebase authentications, and we'll check whether the user has been previously registered or not. At this button on the bottom, it will bring us to the register page. Register page has ID, and the user has to enter the 2 times password and to match with each other, and in order to finish the register. After the registrations, and the user can use this button to go back to the sign-in activity, and then to the sign-in here, which is user must use email format to sign in, which is in this case so this button here is the toggle. So it will toggle between the password mode and with the text that user which just inputted, and this will allow user to see the password they just created, and then when we hit login button, and if the information user inputted is not in the database in the Firebase, it will show a login file, and then otherwise, if you input the correct password, and then it will allow you to go to the next page. Remember Me as a feature is like when user click the Remember Me, and then this tick box will be ticked, and then if a user has a previous sign in successfully and also with this button ticked, and then the activity will jump directly into the main menu. Let's do it here. And now if we run the system again, you see the splash screen, and then we will jump into the main menu page. On the main page, main menu activities, you have 3 buttons. The first button we'll call the media store and to take a photos, allow user to take photo. Let's go into it. You can see this is the camera, which is here, which is alive. And after you click the capture button, and so it will ask whether the user want to save the photos. When you click yes, and then it will saved in the background, so for the future use. And the picture now saved in the bitmap, and which I'm aiming for in the future is like to process this bitmap photos into OCR functions and then translate the invoice that I capture, which is supposed to be here, and then into the text. In the main menu activities is menu input. It allows user to input the menu, the invoices manually, and then for whatever reason they cannot use the invoice scanners. So when you click this button, it will bring you into this layout. So the layout actually has 3 parts. On the top is the invoice title. So for the invoice title, user are required to input business name, in the category and address, and invoice date. By pressing this button, and then it will open up a customized layout dialog, and then it will allow user to input the information here. So, and when you double click the invoice date, it will show you a calendar dialog, and then it's make the user to select the date easier. So if any empty field is not entered, and then when you hit the save button, it will prompt no empty field allowed. So it will make sure all the field has been inputted, and when the user in this dialog, and the cancel button, of course, in these scenarios, we will actually just cancel this dialog and go back to the previous activities. After you hit the save button, it will refresh the invoice title, and then like you see now. So in the middle here is it's a recycler list. So when you press the button, and then it will prompt with the invoice item editors. So invoice item editors has 3 categories, 3 fields. Well, one is item descriptions, and the second one is item category, and third one is price. The price will say 55. Click save. After upon saving, and it will refresh the list in the recycler view, and then with the card layout which I just put in there, and then with the button showing like this. So the multiple input would be looking like this. So because each invoice has many items, like invoice item. So this is, and the number here is the invoice item number. It will show you how many invoice items actually you are having in here. So on each tag, it will have an edit button and a delete button. So when you click the edit button, it will bring up the information in here. The user actually can update here once again, and then when you click save, it will actually saved. Every time when the recycler review get updated, and then the total GST and the GST and the total amount of these invoices will be updated here on the bottom. When you press the delete button, of course, it will delete one of the record here, and then the list will be updated. On the bottom here is like when you just enter this page, because there is no note for this invoices. So when you first click, it will show up with a dialog, and then ask you to input the note. And after click the save button, it will change, because now it has a note, so it will change the add button into the browse button. So when you click this browse again, you will see the note you just entered. And when you accidentally press this button, which is cross, this is called a cancel button. It will bring up a custom dialog of to ask you, are you sure to quit the editing? So if the user press yes, and this one will go back to the previous activity, which is menu activities, and then we'll hit cancel, and then of course it will stay in this page. And if you click yes, none of the information will be saved. And this is the save button. So if all the fields has been filled, for example, if I did something here, it will ask you please add item, because it should has invoice item as the body of the invoices. So now just clear it again. Okay, so then we click OK, and then it said invoice has been saved, and then it will show in there are 3 invoices in total has been saved so far. Now we are at the invoice report. So when you hit the invoice report button, and then it will bring you to the page like this. So this activity allows user to browse the information they saved before. So it will firstly showing here, and each icon represent one invoices in the system. So we click this one. This will show the invoice like you saved, which date it is, and with the full information like this. So if it has note, when you open a note, it will have I got a note for you. And then if you don't have a note, this button will remain blank, and then the user cannot access empty note here. And then on the bottom, and then on the bottom one, which is here, and then the button, and when you click this one, this input will be deleted. Look like this, and then user have to select again to browse whatever in the system. The third button is called the invoice report, and in this activities, it allows user to browse the invoice they saved previously. When you click this button, and then this will show how many saved invoices is in the system already. And then if the system, if the invoices has a note before, you can click this button. It will show you I got a note for you. And if the invoice has no note, so come here, the note will remain blank. And so it's the structure is similar. It will be similar like the input, the manual input. So on the top is the invoice title, and then in the middle is the invoice item, and on the bottom is the invoice note, and the total and the GST and the total amount displayed would be on the bottom. So if the user hit the cross button on the bottom, it will delete the current report that you selected, and then this will refresh the page like this. The last button here, log out, it will sign the user out, and then which brings bring the user back into the sign-in activity, and user have to log in again, and log in again. And if the user doesn't hit the remember me and the next time, and the splash screen will jump into sign in page. But if the user press the remember me button, and then it will bypass this page again. The major obstacle for me to creating this app, there are lots of things to learn to become an Android developer, and especially in Kotlin. The Kotlin as a language is still very new, not many tutorials online, and the tutorials provided by Google are hard to understand for the beginners, especially in the intermediate level. The class are often updated, many functions are depreciated, and it is hard to find a tutorial to replace it, and especially in Kotlin. Just like the example I mentioned before with the Camera X, and the latest tutorial I can find online, and which is working, it's actually in the November last year, but because this year and like February and Google has some major updates, so all the tutorial online has been expired, and then there are no any post online and could help the learner to understand how this would work again. Some of the questions require experience to find the solutions. I think as a coders, it require lots of to understand the code properly and write the code properly. It takes time and practice. And some of the questions you don't even know how to ask online, you don't know how to search online. And then that's actually create a barrier between me and the solution, because I don't have the experience to understand what's this question called, so I can put the key term to research it. Learning online as an online student is make the communication harder, and then as before, and I was learning in the class, I usually be able to contact with my classmate and then to meet the lectures face to face. It will resolve lots of the issues, and when you work together, and then you can see the to work together is more efficiently. But learning online will make, because the distance is you can only get certain level of help through the video chat or chatting with people online. The challenge. Digital Bank currently allows users to sign up, scan invoices, manually enter invoices, and browse stored invoices. According to the idea that I came up with for that time one, the app is still very far from being completed. Features such as OCR that reads invoices images into text, batch image processing, an invoice category editor, and a calendar filter that filters invoices by date to export report are still missing. Those things will be on my next to-do list, and I will focus those features first.